In this video, I'm going to talk a lot about spiritual awakening, what it is, how that relates to your life, and how you can know whether or not you're actually in the process, or maybe if you've even already been through the process and you didn't realize. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Emma, and I help people to live their best life. Life can be really tough. Life can be a struggle, whether you have ADHD, whether you're on a personal growth mission, or whether you're just going about your life on a day-to-day basis. If you're watching this video, the chances are really strong that you are into personal growth and mindset, and maybe you are looking for the answer as to whether or not you're on the right track spiritually. Spiritual awakening is a massive thing, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves if we are of a spiritual mindset to go through the awakening. Now, there isn't just one awakening. Sometimes you can have several, sometimes it happens in stages, but there are things that you can look out for that will tell you, signposts, if you like, that will help you to see that you are on a path of spiritual growth. Now, the number one sign, I'm going to put it out there right now, is the fact that you are watching this video. Because if you are looking for spiritual growth and you're looking for awakening and you're looking to evolve and grow in a spiritual way, you are going to be much more open to finding content like this, to reading about spiritual awakening. So the fact that you have found yourself here right now is a really big sign that you have either already been through an awakening or you're going through an awakening. For me, my spiritual path started a very long time ago when I was probably just a young teenager. It started for me by going to the church, becoming part of a youth group, the Christian church, and then I had way too many questions for that situation. I was not in a situation that felt good to me. It didn't feel nourishing. I liked the community mindset. I liked the love, but I didn't like a lot of the teachings, and I didn't feel at one or at peace with the way that the church and the church doctrine speaks about spirituality and our connection to source or God or our higher self. Everything being very patriarchal, very one God, didn't fit for me. So then I found myself looking for other outlets for this spiritual yearning that I had. And that came to me in bucket loads. It came to me in the form of people that I would sit and have conversations with, events that I would find myself at, books that I would read. At the time, we didn't have this vast access to the internet that we have now, but I would find radio excerpts or events that I was invited to and found myself just seeing these things. And literally, even the fact that you are seeing these things, you're seeing that article in that magazine, or you're overhearing that conversation, or you're sitting down with somebody who wants to talk to you about spirituality, these are very strong signs that you are in the process of your awakening. Now, for me, this happened over such a long period of time, and I actively went into everything that I was put in my path, everything that was put in front of me. I explored it because for me, I was looking for what felt right to my soul, what felt right for my spirit. And this period of inquiry, openness, and being presented with opportunities to learn or connect in a spiritual way is still happening now. But it happened for me very, very intensely for a period of time. And each time I have had some kind of evolution spiritually, it's been the same way. You attract the energy that you are putting your focus on. So when you have opened up to spiritual awakening, whether you are aware of it or not, you will be attracting into your life, into your energy, into your conversation, into your emotions, opportunities to learn, opportunities to connect, opportunities to make decisions about the different ways people present with their spirituality. So if this is happening for you and you are stumbling across videos like this, then there is a very strong chance that that is a big sign that you are in an awakening or you have already awakened. Another sign that you're on your path to an awakening is that you will start to perceive people differently. There's a depth to the way you understand people and their intentions and the things they're saying to you that is just not present before you start awakening to your spiritual path. So people will say things and you will start to look beyond the words that they're saying and the actions, and you will start to feel an energy of what it is that their intention actually is towards you. So if somebody is trying to get something out of you, you will feel a resistance to them. If somebody is wanting to connect with you with love, you will feel much more open and much more attracted to it. And you'll find yourself almost subconsciously being like a battery, like a magnet, and either being magnetized towards people or repelled from people. For a lot of people, it's as though you've become an empath. Maybe you feel like you've been an empath your whole life and you've been very empathetic, very sensitive to situations, very sensitive to energies and emotions and other people's experience. And that could be part of your spiritual path. When you start attaching yourself to a spiritual awakening, or you start opening yourself to a spiritual awakening, is a much better word than attaching yourself to it, you will find yourself naturally much more empathic, much more drawn to understand the energies of a room, the energies of a situation, and you will start to have more of an instinct about where to put your energies and how to spend your energies and when to keep your energy close to you, because you can be an empath and you can be a people pleaser, and sometimes the two things come hand in hand. And those things mean generally that you just give all the time. You give and you give and you give. When you start going through a spiritual awakening and you start ascending and you start building your energy, elevating your energy to a more spiritual plane, you actually become very giving, very humble, very loving, but also very protective of your love and your energy, and in a really positive, wholesome, I want to say nutritious way. I don't know why that word is coming to me, but you want to feed your energy with healthy energies, and you want to give your energy out to people who will appreciate it and learn from it or grow from it or just gel with it and reciprocate. So you tend to find yourself not mindlessly giving out your love, time, and attention as much as you might have done before. You also start to have an understanding that you are more this physical life, this body, this office, this space, this candle. These are all very basic understandings of what life is. The job that you go to every day, the relationships that you have, the car that you drive, the things that you do, these are all very earthly, normal things. And when you're going through an awakening, when you've been through an awakening, you start to have a much bigger understanding that there is more to it. You might not understand what that more is, but you understand with certainty that there is so much more to life than these day-to-day things, than this body that you have, than the clothes that you put on. Life is deeper, it's bigger, and you start looking for answers. You start questioning things that are much more existential, much bigger, much less mundane, much less grounded in the day-to-day understanding of this is how you live your life. And because of that, you start understanding concepts about life that help you in your relationships and in your understanding of people, because you understand that everybody is having this human experience, but that is just a small part of what we are. You start to understand things that have perhaps previously been much smaller. And what I mean by that is, for example, we know that we can see a spectrum of energy, of light. We know that light is a vibration. This is science. We know that light is a vibration, and that different colors of light are different frequencies on the scale of light. Now, we also know that there is light that we can't see with our naked eye, with our human eye. We can't see infrared light, but we know it exists. We don't question that. There's infrared photography that you can take that will show you things that you can't see with your eye. We also know and accept that For example, sound. We know and accept that dogs can hear different frequencies to us. They can hear much higher frequencies than we can. What does that mean? Those frequencies are still there. All of those frequencies of sound exist all of the time, but we as human beings cannot perceive of them. But dogs can perceive of them. So we know that they exist. And your concept of everything in life expands, gets bigger. Whilst you're on this journey of spiritual awakening and spiritual growth, your concept of almost everything gets so much bigger, even by accepting that there are visual frequencies and oral frequencies that we can't see or we can't hear, but we know that they exist. It challenges your perception of life. It challenges that day-to-day, very normalized perception of life. And as soon as you start accepting these things, you understand you have to accept that there is so much more to this human life experience than the day-to-day, than how much we weigh, what clothes we put on, who we interact with, what we do. Life is bigger. The human experience is a very small part of this one massive experience that is happening right now. You start to understand that just because we can only see, touch, hear, taste certain things doesn't mean that that is the limit of what exists. So the third sign, the third thing that will tell you that you're in an awakening, having an awakening, is kind of related to the others, but is this awareness, this deeper understanding of self-fulfilling prophecies, of your mindset, of your mental state, of the thoughts that you have attracting what you have in your life. So when you have this deeper level of awareness and you start to accept without any judgment that your thoughts attract the things that happen in your life, you can then engineer your life in a way that you choose. So something that was an autopilot habit previously, a thought pattern that you had that was maybe a limiting belief that you have had previously, is now something that you can start to deconstruct, and you can start to figure out, well, why am I having that thought? Because there are no limits on this life experience that we're having. I'm putting limits on it. Maybe I believe I can only make a certain amount of money in a year. Or maybe I've convinced myself that making money has to be hard work. Or I've convinced myself that I am not worthy of love. Or because of childhood trauma, I am stuck in a place where I am a people pleaser and I don't expect anything from anybody and I don't feel worthy to receive. And you start to look at the thoughts in your life and what they're attracting into your life, and you start to accept that you have control of that, that you can change that at any given moment. You can challenge your limiting beliefs, you can figure out where they came from, and you can let them go. That's the most crucial part of this. You start to understand that the thoughts that you have been having in your life that no longer serve you are thoughts that you can let go, and you can replace them with thoughts that do serve you. So you become a master of your life in a way that you haven't been previously, because you were living on autopilot and you weren't accepting the vastness of our experience and the vastness of the power of our mind and the power of our intention and our mindset and our understanding of the experience that we're having. When we're looking at limiting beliefs that are impacting our life and what are attracting into our life, you have to understand, or you begin to understand, I recommend that you consider that every thought that you have is just a perspective. So you might believe that something is good, or you might believe that something is bad, but holding space for yourself to start challenge the idea that anything is good or bad, because most things can be either, depending on where you're at in your life, depending on what it is that you need. What is good to one person will be bad to another person. What is enough for one person will not be enough for another person. Now, when you start to accept this and you start to understand how powerful we are in this human experience that we're having, you can start working on your subconscious beliefs. You can start working on your subconscious mindset, and you can start going deeper. I recommend meditation for this. I recommend guided meditation. I recommend sitting with your thoughts. I recommend journaling to work out what it is that you're thinking about, I recommend auto writing, where you just write and write and write and write and write. If you can do that every day for 21 days, you'll create massive change and massive awareness in yourself. So a huge part of a spiritual awakening experience is a massively expanded awareness. And that goes for all three signs that we have spoken about here. The first one being aware that you are attracting content like this into your life. You are becoming aware of what exists, of the spiritual the first one being that you are in a place in your life where you are attracting content like this. You're watching this video. That's a big start. That's number one. Number two, you start to be able to read people's energies. You have an awareness, a deepened awareness of how they are presenting, what their intentions are. Number three, you become aware that our opinions, our mindset, our thoughts, our limiting beliefs, they are all perspectives that we can change, that we have control over and power over, and they are a choice. Once you understand that a thought that has been just on autopilot your whole life is actually a perspective and you have control over it, it then becomes a choice, and you can choose better thoughts. You can choose to attract different things into your life. With all these things said, a spiritual awakening is not the be all and end all. Spiritual awakening is very, very important, and it's something that is very dear to our hearts, those of us who are on a spiritual path. But there is also more to it. Let me know if this resonated with you, because I would love to know that this content is hitting people who are in this process or have been through this process. If you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know. Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, share it with somebody else. But whatever you do today and however this video hit you, as always, guys, have the best day.